CM Punk and Eddie Kingston tonight showed you how it should be done in professional wrestling. We are live, man! AEW Rampage tonight. The quickest 1 hour in all of pro wrestling. SmackDown is becoming the longest 2 hours in all of professional wrestling. An obvious tale of two cities tonight. SmackDown was absolute garbage. And Rampage had some damn good pro wrestling tonight, including that CM Punk and Eddie Kingston face-to-face that will probably go down as one of, if not the best, promo segments in the last decade. We're going to go over everything that happened on these shows tonight, including news and rumors of Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, and Kyle O'Reilly getting a tryout on the main roster. And a specific reason why WWE has not yet started to promote the Survivor Series. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on your Friday night. This is the #1 podcast in all of the IWC. You know it as Off the Script.
AEW successful? Why is Tony Khan running his promotion better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are running Monday night and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me on your Friday nights. It is November 5th, 2021. I am JD from New York, and this is Off the Script. Thank you guys again for spending your Friday night with me, choosing us as your destination for all SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Man, oh man, I listen. I know Friday nights aren't as exciting as they used to be. I know the allure of Rampage has kind of died off. But I've been saying two specific things in the last, I don't know how many weeks, in regards to both WWE SmackDown and AEW Rampage. SmackDown last week was atrocious. This week was pretty damn bad as well, but Roman Reigns was back this week, even though he didn't really have a big focus on the show. SmackDown is suffering without Roman Reigns. And that was very apparent last week. WWE isn't really doing much with Roman right now going into the Survivor Series, and it's really bringing SmackDown down to Monday Night Raw's level. It's just as bad as Monday night on Friday night. And I've been saying this about AEW Rampage. Rampage on most weeks, except for this week, and then going into next week because we have the big AEW pay-per-view next weekend. These next 2 weeks are going to be live. And you see the obvious difference between a taped Rampage and a live Rampage. Now, I know for monetary reasons or, I guess, ease of the schedule reasons, Tony Khan doesn't do it live every single week. But this is what you guys are going to expect and get when AEW goes on the road and Rampage is 2 hours every single week. And I hope that actually happens sooner rather than later. The entire vibe of tonight's show was completely different. I was on my phone less. I didn't know what was going to happen going into the show because obviously being on social media, you get and see all the spoilers. Tonight, the atmosphere was a beautiful thing. A lively crowd in St. Louis. Nobody knew what was going on. We got a big tournament match for the women's TBS Championship Tournament, the final first round match. We got Bryan Danielson wrestling tonight in the opening match. We got Adam Cole Bay versus John Silver in the main event. And we got that big CM Punk and Eddie Kingston face-to-face that people are already saying is one of the best face-to-face promo segments between two pro wrestlers ever. And I was blown away by what these two guys did. Frankly, I'm not surprised, but I was just completely enamored with what these two guys brought to the table. And we all expected that they were going to bring what they brought tonight on Friday night for Rampage. On SmackDown, if I could sum up in one word what SmackDown was tonight, I think the best word for me to pull out of the English language would be nothing. Absolutely nothing happened on tonight's show. There's no Survivor Series build yet. Survivor Series is after this week, 2 weeks away. And WWE hasn't really given us a single solitary match for Survivor Series. I think we are kind of in the know about what the big matches are going to be just based on who the champions are and what the theme of Survivor Series has been for the last several years. But there's no men's or women's Survivor Series teams put together. We don't have any team captains. We don't have anybody representing Raw or SmackDown. We don't even know if it's going to be a Raw versus SmackDown theme in New York City for Survivor Series. I have no idea. I got the reason why WWE hasn't built a Survivor Series hype. I got the reason why they haven't said anything about Survivor Series. Ridiculous, but I got a reason. And SmackDown tonight, again, nothing. Nothing happened on tonight's show. Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss and the Viking Raiders, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo. A lot of tag team matches on tonight's show. Xavier Woods. Not going to sit here and call him King Woods. He's making a fucking joke of the King of the Ring. Xavier Woods versus Jimmy Uso. The entire show was bend the knee. If Xavier Woods wins, then Jimmy Uso has to bend his knee to the King. And if Xavier lost, or if Jimmy Uso won, I should say, then he bends a knee to the head of the table, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief of SmackDown, your Universal Champion. Outside of that, nothing happened on tonight's show. SmackDown was complete trash and an utter waste of time. And I don't believe I'm going to utter this, and some of you guys may be shocked by what you're about to hear. Monday Night Raw was the better show this week compared to SmackDown, and Monday Night Raw has a better vibe lately than SmackDown. I don't know what the deal is there. It's only been 2 weeks, but Monday Night Raw has a better vibe than SmackDown does. And I'm going to go as far as this as well. Monday Night Raw has the better roster compared to SmackDown on Friday night. A complete waste of time. So we're going to go over that. Also, Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly, they worked dark matches before SmackDown tonight. For what reason, I have no fucking idea. It's not like they're going to be with the company in about 2 months or less. So what's the point of bringing them to SmackDown to waste their time when they're either A, already contemplating leaving, probably both of them have already made that decision, or B, if they decide to get called up to the main roster, WWE isn't going to use Kyle O'Reilly or a Johnny Gargano on the main roster. And collectively, it is a waste of both of those men's times to work a dark match. I don't know if they worked separately or if they worked together, but Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly got a main roster tryout tonight. Like Johnny Gargano needs a fucking tryout with anything, man. You fucking kidding me? So we'll talk about that, what the idea behind that is. I got news on Brock Lesnar, and I got news on the New Day. So we got some tidbits, some news and rumors regarding some of the happenings that happened on SmackDown tonight. It's going to be a light night. Not much going on. But I thank you guys for joining me on your Friday nights here in the venue. We got 1,600 live so far. People are still filtering in. They're showing their IDs at the door. They're walking on in. They're taking a seat at the beautiful bar right in front of me. They're ordering their cold beverages. Everybody is having a good time, man. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. Sponsored by my great friends over at Audible, audibletrial.com/scripts. Somebody asked if I'm drunk in the chat. No, I do not drink during the week, number one. Number two, I do not drink during these shows because if it's a WWE show, I'd probably end up falling asleep. Mix the alcohol and WWE in my system with a terrible WWE show. It's not a recipe for success. So I do not drink during these shows. I am pretty exhausted, though. I am very much tired and drained. So thank you, Robert Hall, in the chat. Robert Hall's a VIP in the venue. Thank you for your concern. But again, I thank you guys very much for joining me on the podcast tonight. Again, sponsored by Audible, audibletrial.com/script. You guys can sign up and get 30 days free of their service and one free audiobook of your choice. There's a lot of wrestling-related books on there, so make sure you guys go and check that out. And the best thing of all, you can sign up, get 30 days to browse their service, get one free audiobook just for signing up. And if you don't like the service, if you don't want the service for any reason, you can cancel as soon as you sign up, keep your book for free, and not be billed for anything. Or you guys can stay on, help me out, and you guys can browse Audible and get all the audiobooks that your heart desires. So that's audibletrial.com/scripts. Always a great partner of the podcast. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go and check the Patreon page as well. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. We got the Off the Script dugout mugs. We got the Are We Live t-shirts. We got the new Off the Script hats, which I should be wearing on the show, but the Braves just won the World Series, man. I got to be representing the world fucking champions of Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves. But we do have those Off the Script hats. That is patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Make sure you guys go get your t-shirts. Bonfire is the exclusive home of Off the Script. Bonfire.com. I made it easy for you guys. Right underneath the video player, you're going to see all of the top-selling designs on Bonfire with the official Off the Script shop. You click the t-shirt you want, and then it takes you right to that t-shirt's page. You buy it, you select your size, you enter your billing and your shipping information, and within a couple of weeks, you'll be getting a t-shirt. So make sure you guys go check out Bonfire. Bonfire.com is the official store of Off the Script. Go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Monday Night Raw is on there. We got AEW Dynamite. Jesse and I did Dynamite and the post show on Wednesday. Thursday, we did an emergency off the script extra because WWE released 18 more superstars from the roster, including Taya Valkyrie, which is Frankie Monet, a.k.a. the wife of John Morrison. And she went off on a rant about why she was released. Nia Jax was released. Eva Marie was released. B-Fab of Shiro released. They even took her out of the fucking theme music for Hit Row, man. Did away with B-Fab overnight. What happened? What happened, Bottom Dollar? I'm still waiting for that apology, bro. What's going on there? How you feeling there, Bottom Dollar? Dollar Tree, huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. You blocked everybody on social media because everybody was hurting your feelings. Also, Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux. Imagine WWE releasing Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux and then blaming them for not getting over on the main roster, which is the news going into the flagship podcast tomorrow. Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, and Keith Lee. Bear Claw, Keith Lee, Bear Cat, Keith Lee released. Imagine not making money with Keith Lee on the main roster. It's unbelievable, man. But, it's their fault. It's their fault that they didn't get over, because everybody needs to be given a shitty gimmick and then try and get it over, like Keith Lee, right? And then all the people on social media for weeks, this is Keith Lee's idea. This is Keith Lee's idea, JD. How dare you? How dare you, man? You think you know everything. Better believe it, motherfucker. I know everything. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Said it for weeks. It's not Keith Lee's idea. Keith Lee is a puppet on Vince McMahon's strings. Where's my apology, Reddit? Where's my apology, Twitter? Huh? Oh, now you all want to be fucking silent, right? Good. Because I love making you all look like a bunch of blithering fools. I love it. I live for it, man. It makes me sleep better at night. Nice shot of whiskey, and then I put my head down to lay down to go to sleep, and then I think of all the fucking people that are in my mentions hating me, thinking that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and then I end up being right anyway, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. We had an emergency episode of the podcast yesterday, man. 4,500 people in the venue last night. Almost 50,000 views and 3,000 likes. WWE should end up releasing everybody every single fucking week, man. It's better for me. It's better for me. Anyway, go check that out if you missed it. That's on the channel. And we have a ton of news coming out of the release Thursday, Black Thursday, I think they're calling it. A ton of news coming out of Stamford, Connecticut on Thursday. We will go over all of that news and recap everything again on Saturday afternoon with Off the Scripts. VIPs will get it early as soon as it's uploaded to the channel. So make sure you guys hit that join button down below and become a VIP right here in the OTS venue. We might as well start with SmackDown. I really don't want to talk about SmackDown. Also, guys, remember, get those Super Chats in. Super Chats are open. We'll hang out at the end of the show. And also, please hit that thumbs up. We got almost 1,800 people in the venue tonight. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. I only see 532 likes on the live stream chat right now. We need at least minimum 1,000 likes before we get out of here. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up down below. It helps the channel and the video out. Starting with SmackDown. Roman Reigns. First thing we see on SmackDown, Roman Reigns is a beautiful thing to see on Friday nights, and he was sorely missed last week. WWE clearly didn't put any effort into SmackDown last week, being that they were preempted by the World Series, and WWE didn't put any effort into SmackDown because they were on FS1. So the show sucked, and now WWE's back on Fox, and it's more of the same. absolutely zero effort from WWE. But we do got Roman Reigns opening the show. Reigns walked out with the Usos and Paul Heyman. We got a replay of the New Day beating the Usos last week in that tag team match that I never seen before, man. It's such a fresh match, the Usos and the New Day, man. It's not like they've been feuding for the last 8 years, right? How many times have we seen the Usos and the New Day on WWE television, man? I think I've lost count. But this is a new era of SmackDown. I guess what is old is new again. I don't know. So we got highlights of that. And Michael Cole said Roman Reigns was on vacation last week. Lucky him. Lucky Roman Reigns. Didn't have to come to work at all last week. Reigns said, and I quote, "Last week your tribal chief wasn't at SmackDown because you smash everybody, and somebody like Brock Lesnar, you kind of got to celebrate. So I took a vacation, and I heard y'all grumbling and complaining. Don't worry, I'm here now." And he looked into the camera and he said, "So, this tiny little no-name town, acknowledge me," he says. So he got booed, obviously, by this little no-name town in Indiana. He brightened up a little bit, he smiled, and said he had a great weekend. He was on a private island running around naked. His wife was loving it, and it was great. He said not everybody had a good week, though. He says it was a bad week for a lot of them. He looked at Heyman. Heyman looked nervous. Reigns then said Lesnar had a bad week because he got himself fined $1 million and suspended indefinitely. He said he has the juice and the stroke to make that happen. Reigns asked Heyman what else happened last week. Heyman says it was really nothing, and Kayla Braxton started bothering him about Brock Lesnar. So Heyman was nervous, and he started rambling and rambling and rambling. Reigns interrupted and said again, "What else happened last week?" So obviously the Usos are there. Heyman looked at the Usos and said there was a match last week between the Usos and the New Day, and he was stuttering. And he then said, "Well, listen, I know what you're trying to get at. It was a non-title match because they never had a title match without him around." Reigns then asked who won and who lost. Jimmy and Jay were standing there, hanging their heads down, and Heyman said the match was won by the New Day. So Reigns said they're entertaining, and he likes them too, but they're not better than the Bloodline. He says he's having trouble understanding how his cousins, the greatest tag team of this generation, lost to the New Day. So he got angry, and he asked the Usos who lost this match last week. Jimmy and Jay Uso point at each other. They don't want to take the blame for it. Jimmy looked guilty, and Reigns put his arm around Jimmy. "Tell us how you're going to fix this problem." Jimmy says he's going to kick that crown off of his head and acknowledge who the tribal chief is and who the real king is. So then the New Day interrupt, and they have their circus of shit come out and interrupt the Bloodline. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods walked out. Kofi introduced himself and King Xavier. Xavier said he thought when you were king, you sat at the head of the table, and then you never stopped talking about being the head of the table, and then you get to wear a t-shirt saying you are head of the table. In this case, you lose too many brain cells to remember you are head of the table. Kofi was laughing. Xavier then went on and said, "It must be so sad and lonely on the island of relevancy." So then he tells Reigns, if Jimmy Uso can beat him tonight and acknowledge him, or if Xavier, he told Reigns, if Jimmy Uso can beat him tonight, he will acknowledge Roman Reigns. Sorry. And then he said, when he beats Uso, he will be made to do as his king should be doing already and bend the knee. Xavier tried to get a bend the knee chant going, and fans weren't really kind of buying it. I wasn't buying any of this fucking clown-like behavior from the New Day either. Jimmy then said, the bloodline bends the knee to nobody. Reigns then asked for the microphone, and Heyman almost had a nervous breakdown because Jimmy Uso had the microphone and did not immediately hand it to Roman Reigns. Reigns accepted the challenge. Xavier made jokes aimed at Jimmy and Jay and calling them all these weird, bizarre names. Jimmy or Jim or Jiminy. Absolutely stupid. This Xavier Woods shtick as king, I said this last week, is doing absolutely nothing for me. He's doing absolutely nothing of relevance with the King of the Ring tournament and what it means to be King of the Ring. He's taken this, and WWE has taken the King concept, given it to Xavier Woods, and they just merely altered Xavier Woods' gimmick so that the New Day seems a little bit more fresh on weekly television. They didn't take it to give Xavier Woods a singles run. They didn't take it to really pronounce to the WWE fan base that the King of the Ring tournament hardly ever happens, and when it does, it should be treated as an important thing. He won the tournament. He's not in line for a title shot or a title opportunity at any point for the major world championships that the WWE has. I don't understand why, even now, and I said this during the Crown Jewel show, and I'm going to say it now, I don't know why Xavier Woods won the King of the Ring tournament if this was the best WWE was going to come up with for the winner of the King of the Ring. I don't know why we didn't get King Baszler or King Ricochet. Or I don't know why the King of the Ring tournament wasn't given to somebody that, I don't know, hardly ever gets a fucking opportunity and didn't go to somebody that's going to use it and propel their career. WWE has used the King of the Ring merely as a gimmick to present the New Day as fresh because the New Day was getting stale. And I'm not for that. And I'm not for King Xavier either. Him and Zelina, Queen Zelina. I think both of these gimmick changes, because they're now king and queen, are fucking terrible. They are so cringe. Xavier's got this fucking king-like attitude. You know, it worked for King Booker. It worked for a Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It's not going to work for somebody like Xavier Woods. Zelina Vega's going around doing this English accent. Honey, you're from fucking Queens. The fuck are you doing? I don't believe the shit that WWE wants us to find intriguing. It's ridiculous. This king shtick by Xavier is not for me. And in some other weird fucking twisted way, WWE thinks we want yet another New Day and Uso match. This time, a singles match. But I thought this was a new era on SmackDown. Yet we're getting the same old shit. How many times do we need to see the New Day and the Usos in the ring together before somebody in that company says, enough is enough, I think we should move on? Shayna Baszler. It's amazing how we talked about the releases yesterday. And WWE released Taya Valkyrie, and WWE released Karrion Kross, and a bunch of other people. Something's going off on my computer. I have no fucking idea what's going on. WWE, they released Taya Valkyrie, who's in her late 30s. Karrion Kross is 36, 37 years old. He's no spring chicken. Yet we got Shayna Baszler on WWE TV. We got Asuka, who's ready to come back when she's ready to come back. Both in their 40s. AJ Styles is in his 40s, right? Roman Reigns is 37 years old. Finn Balor is in his 40s. Cesaro is up there in age. Sheamus is up there in age as well. It's amazing how I look at Shayna Baszler, and I said this about Ricochet as well, but Ricochet's a youngin'. He's a young WWE superstar. Hasn't gotten an opportunity. But I look at somebody like Shayna Baszler and I say, It's amazing that she survived yet another budget cut in WWE. I'm expecting one of these weeks where we get these Black Wednesdays or Black Thursdays, Black Fridays, that Shayna Baszler is going to end up being released. Bobby Lashley, someone in the chat, Bobby Lashley is in his 40s. WWE has a lot of people in their 40s. You know, age is nothing but a number, man. I'm going to be 40. When I tell people I'm going to be 40 in February, nobody really believes I'm going to be 40 outside of the salt and pepper look in my goatee. People don't believe I'm 40. I'm at my peak right now, going into my 40s. I feel good. But WWE seems to think that somebody in their 40s or somebody going into their 40s, especially a female, is of no use to them. Taya Valkyrie, Frankie Monet, that was her WWE given name, she ranted about the age discrepancy that WWE is now kind of enforcing. They don't want to hire anybody under 25 when it comes to females that they bring into the Performance Center. And she said it's bullshit. I'm in my late 30s, but it's all right for one of the males to be in their late 40s and middle 40s, and age isn't really an issue with those men on the roster. But when it comes to a female, it's got to be a fucking issue. I absolutely stand with what she said on social media last night. I absolutely agree with everything she said 100%. We're going to go over that tomorrow. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I look at Shayna Baszler. The point I'm trying to make is I look at Shayna Baszler and I'm surprised she made it through another budget cut. One of these weeks, I'm not going to be surprised when I see Shayna Baszler's name on that list of budget cuts and John Laurinaitis future endeavoring Shayna Baszler. Goodbye. She wrestled tonight against Naomi. And this Sonya Deville thing with Naomi is continuing. And it seems like WWE doesn't know what the next chapter of this story should be. Shayna Baszler and Naomi had a nice little match here. Went about 6 minutes. This was longer than the entire first round of the Queen's Crown tournament. So Naomi took control here. She got some offense on the outside of the ring. She leapt off the top rope, landed a beautiful crossbody for a 2 count. Match wasn't all that great. It was a little sloppy in some parts. I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe they just don't work good together. So Michael Cole was trying to explain that Sonya Deville still hasn't explained the issue she has with Naomi. So McAfee then says it's definitely jealousy because that's what the internet says. Yes, WWE shitting on its fan base at any given moment. Always shitting on their fan base. Baszler landed a gut-wrench suplex on the ringside mat. We go to commercial break. That looked like it sucked. Naomi sold it well. Naomi drove Baszler's head into the ring apron, and it was almost, if I could describe it, it was just envision MJF's Heat Seeker pile driver. And that's exactly what Naomi did on Shayna Baszler. It looked very good. So Naomi adding a new move to her repertoire. And then she sunset flipped her in the ring for a near fall. Baszler countered with a Kirifuda clutch. Naomi grabbed the ropes to force a break. And then she gets up and rolls Baszler up for a leverage pin. 1, 2, 3. Naomi celebrated, and she won the match. Sonya Deville walks out and told everyone to hold on a minute. Nobody is going to leave the ring until I say what needs to be said. She said right before the pinfall, Naomi grabbed the ropes, so it should have been a rope break, meaning the hold should have been released, and her counter into a roll-up does not count. She said the rules are the rules, and she has no choice but to restart the match. Michael Cole mentioned, and I quote, "Where is Jack Tunney when you need him?" Jack Tunney, man, one of the best general managers, commissioners, presidents of WWE, on-screen authority roles in WWE history, man. The classic Jack Tunney. You may be too young to know who Jack Tunney is, man. But Jack Tunney was the OG president, the OG authority figure of WWF back in the day. Baszler put Naomi in a careful clutch. Obviously, they were selling this as favoritism from Deville to Baszler. Naomi passed out, and Sonya Deville wreaks havoc once again. She actually was interviewed by Kayla Braxton, and Sonya Deville says that she lit a fire under Naomi, and this is the most focused she's seen Naomi, and it's thanks to her that Naomi is now just going out there with this intensity and this new lease on life. Let's see what she can do with that tonight. And then obviously she came out and screwed Naomi once again. Maybe one day she says she will grant her that one-on-one match if she does win. And that's the kicker in all of this. Sonya doesn't want Naomi to win, and every twist and turn that we see with Naomi, Sonya Deville is going to use her power. I'm not sure who's going to eventually step in here, but somebody's going to have to remove Sonya Deville from power and then start making matches on behalf of themselves to Sonya Deville and Naomi, because we're not getting it from Sonya Deville. But I think this storyline has at least another couple weeks, and then we have to move on. It's been very good. It's given these two women something to do. A nice little storyline outside of the Women's Championship on SmackDown. There should definitely be more than one women's storyline on the brand. It doesn't always have to include the champion. So we got Charlotte and whatever she's doing, Sasha and Shotzi, and Sonya Deville and Naomi. But that doesn't mean the division is where it needs to be. I still think the division is kind of awful. But I'm enjoying what Naomi and Sonya Deville are doing. And Baszler gets another victory. Cheap victory, but at least it's another W for Shayna Baszler. Roman Reigns. He's backstage. He said, I take 1 week. 1 week, one vacation, and it all falls apart. I take one vacation and SmackDown sucks, he says. It's almost as bad as Raw. Jey Uso laughs. You know, I listened to Roman Reigns cut this promo, and I start thinking to myself. I really do. I start thinking to myself, and I ask myself, who on the WWE creative team is watching my show? Because I've said that for the last several weeks and have been saying that for months regarding Roman Reigns. Without Roman Reigns, SmackDown is just as bad as Monday Night Raw. And lo and behold, we get Roman Reigns saying that same exact thing. He goes on vacation. He's out 1 week and SmackDown sucks. It's almost as bad as Monday Night Raw. Who's watching off the script on that writing team? I'd love for you to come forth. I'm not accepting royalties or commissions. I just want the acknowledgement. Acknowledge me. Because there's no reason why that line is there, and I've been saying that for months on this show. Sure, they're not watching. Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi Blackheart. They showed Shotzi attacking Sasha Banks last week. And Kayla Braxton interviewed Shotzi Blackheart, or Megan Morant, I should say. Shotzi was interviewed by Megan Morant, not Kayla Braxton. Megan Morant interviewed Shotzi. Shotzi, she said that she finally had enough. She's had enough. I would have enough, too, if I'm working right underneath Bruce Pritchard. She said ever since she came to SmackDown, she's lost title opportunities and her tag team partner and the support of the fans. Let me rephrase that or reiterate that to you guys. Ever since she came to SmackDown, she's lost the title opportunities promised to her. Her tag team partner who went to Raw, And supposedly, I'm supposed to believe Shotzi Blackheart lost the supports of the fans. It's interesting. She said last week, thanks to Sasha Banks, she lost the biggest match of her career. She said she's not going to smile and pretend everything is okay anymore. She said Sasha is now her target. I'm going to run over Sasha Banks and anyone else that gets in my way, and I don't need a tank to do it. Let me tell you something, man. You know, for all the geeks that want to cry that I'm too critical of the product, this is exactly what I'm talking about, and the reason why I have a successful podcast and you don't. I said last week, nobody wanted to boo Shotzi Blackheart. This is week 2 now, and nobody wants to boo Shotzi Blackheart. WWE failed terribly last week with Shotzi and Charlotte Flair. I mentioned that Sasha Banks, and yes, she was, geeks, Sasha Banks was a heel going into last week's show. Shotzi Blackheart came out to wrestle Charlotte Flair before this turn as a babyface. WWE had Sasha Banks, a heel, stand in the corner of Shotzi, a babyface, last week on SmackDown. Nobody but me called that out. Nobody but me, live on Friday night, called that out. WWE thinks we're fools. WWE clearly doesn't know what they have in Shotzi. WWE clearly doesn't have a vision for Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi turned heel after the match, blaming Sasha Banks for the loss. Sasha Banks was a heel that they turned babyface due to the heel attack by Shotzi Blackheart. They simply switched roles. So Sasha coming into last week's show was a heel, now a babyface. Shotzi coming into last week's show, a babyface, is now a heel. WWE is expecting me not to pinpoint exactly what they were doing last week. Sasha was a heel and Shotzi was a babyface. Now I'm supposed to believe Shotzi Blackheart in this promo where she says she's had enough of the fans not showing her support. This is exactly what I was afraid WWE was going to do. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. Nobody wants to boo Shotzi Blackheart. I'm not taking anything away from that woman. I'm not. I enjoy Shotzi's work immensely. I think she's very good. I think she deserves a major spot in this women's division. She looks good. She's different. She's got charisma and personality. Nobody wants to boo Shotzi Blackheart. How are you going to take this 5'4", green-haired woman, this heavy metal listening rocker chick in Shotzi Blackheart, and turn her into a heel? WWE is now throwing Shotzi in front of a camera, and she's now putting down the fans that supposedly don't support her anymore. Where are these people? Who are these people? And where were these people before the heel turn last week? I'd love if you go out there and present them to me. Here's a fucking clue, folks. They don't exist. WWE is now forcing a heel turn onto Shotzi Blackheart, and Shotzi is cutting a promo in a very heel-like fashion that is not natural. This came off so disingenuous and unnatural that as soon as she said she's in a position where she's sick and tired of all the fans that are not supporting her anymore, or the support of the fans that apparently she never got. What? As soon as you threw that support of the fans line in there, I lost all interest in ever seeing this woman cut another heel promo ever again. Now you're forcing something that didn't exist. You're fabricating something that didn't exist to try and get this woman over. That's not going to get this woman over. That's going to get eye rolls in the back of people's heads, thinking to themselves, this shit sucks. Shotzi is not somebody people want to boo. She didn't come off good here. It was very forced and unnatural and unorganic. And I don't like where this is going after 2 weeks already. This woman needs to be a babyface, and WWE needs to present her as a fun-loving rocker chick who drives a fucking tank and goes ball to the wall in that ring. That's it. And she wants to talk about fucking the ball pit, right? Shotzi Blackheart isn't doing the ball pit anymore. She's now shitting on the fans that supposedly don't like her, but the fan support for Shotzi Blackheart was always there. An absolutely terrible start to Shotzi Blackheart on SmackDown. You ain't gonna make a believer out of me with fucking shit like this. I'm telling you right now. We got Los Lotharios. Yes, the Lotharios of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. They wrestled Mansoor and Cesaro in a tag team match. You know, it's quite telling what WWE does creatively, man. It really is. Mansoor just left the tag team with Ali. Ali dumped him. They had a couple of matches, one in Saudi Arabia, one last week on SmackDown. He goes from one tag team partner to another tag team partner with no rhyme or reason and no explanation. Now, I don't think Cesaro and Mansoor are going to be a tag team per se, but why is Mansoor teaming with Cesaro when you have Sheamus on the roster who has a history, quite the history, with Cesaro? If you're not going to do anything with Cesaro, singles-wise, why aren't you using Cesaro to team up with Sheamus and reunite the Bar? That was a great fucking tag team. That was a great fucking tag team. Nobody wants to see Sheamus in a singles role. I honestly don't have any interest in seeing Sheamus in a singles role, though I think they'll probably keep him in a singles role and have him chase Shinsuke Nakamura for the IC title. I don't believe he's ever won the Intercontinental Championship. I could be mistaken on that. But why would you not get the Bar back together on SmackDown when the one thing that this company needs is tag team wrestling? That's a great fucking tag team right there. You know WWE isn't doing anything for Cesaro, so why not? I don't get it. Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, I like the makeup of this tag team. I'm not giving WWE any benefit of the doubt at all because before long, this tag team will probably be split up and then one of them will probably be released in the next round of budget cuts. I'm not getting my hopes up with Garza and Humberto unless I see them really consistently go out there and win those titles. I am not giving these guys any benefit of the doubt whatsoever. Mansoor and Ali, I like the makeup of that tag team. I would have not split them up yet. Mansoor is very good at what he does. Cesaro is always very good at what he does. But on this night, it was Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo who win. And Humberto landed a couple of kicks and a big super kick. Garza and Humberto landed their double team finisher on Cesaro for the 1, 2, 3. And that was pretty much the end of that. Los Lotharios defeat Mansoor and Cesaro. During the match, Ali was watching this match saying that he is watching this match with vested interest. Vested interest. I don't know why he's watching this match. I don't know what his problem is, but apparently he is doing this angle on the show where everybody apparently is booing him because his name is Mustafa Ali. Great. What a great way to stereotype one of your most talented performers. Yes, we don't like Mustafa Ali because his name is Mustafa Ali. Great writing there, Bruce. How long did it take you to come up with that one? Moving on. Jeff Hardy. He was chatting with Aaliyah, who has yet to make her debut on SmackDown. It's probably for the better. We haven't seen Ridge Holland either in the ring. When are we going to get to see Ridge Holland on SmackDown? Don't know why you call these people up. I really don't. Jeff Hardy was backstage with Aaliyah. Braxton walked up for an interview. Hardy introduced her to Aaliyah. I'm sure Braxton knows who Aaliyah is. Aaliyah walked away, but Hardy then noticed Sami Zayn was talking to Aaliyah. So Sami said people are asking his advice all the time. He began giving her tips on what she wears to show people she means business. I have 2 words for you, says Sami Zayn. Pants. Think about it. She asked Hardy if he's always like that. Hardy said yes, and welcome to SmackDown. Do we get a Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy feud down the line? I don't know. I really don't know. And I doubt you guys even give a shit about Jeff Hardy at this point. The only thing people care about when it comes to Jeff Hardy is when his contract is up and when he's going to reunite the Hardy Boys in AEW. That's exactly the priority on the top of his priority list for Jeff Hardy. When is my contract up? One last run for the Hardys. Let's do it. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre said it's time for the SmackDown Warriors Open Challenge. Let's play less and clay more. I always appreciate a fine pun. Mr. McIntyre. Who wants to fight me? Ricochet's music played. Here's another guy, Ricochet. I think of these budget cuts, and I ask myself, I am genuinely surprised that this man still has a fucking job. I really am genuinely surprised. I love Ricochet to death. This guy should have been multi-time Intercontinental Champion. This guy should have been the next AJ Styles in this company. They've done jack shit with Ricochet. But maybe a move to SmackDown benefits him in the long run. I have no idea. So Ricochet comes out, and Michael Cole calls him a video game character come to life. Ricochet. So Ricochet said he loves Drew, but he's playing with fire. He said if he keeps coming out there every week, acting the way he's acting, one of these weeks, someone is going to step up into the ring and not care about the pec flexing and catchphrases and slap him right in the face. He dropped the microphone and slapped the shit out of Drew McIntyre. So we got a match between Drew McIntyre and Ricochet. Now, the last time these two guys actually wrestled and meant something to each other was the 2019 King of the Ring. These guys had a first-round match, and it was incredible. 20 minutes, these guys brought it and gave you every bit of what a King of the Ring match should be. So I'm like, all right, this is exciting. If more guys like this step up and look good in the open challenge, it may mean something. This match was very, very quick, man. 5 minutes. Drew was angry. He tossed Ricochet early, using his power, overpowering him. Ricochet went for a running head scissors off the ring apron. Drew caught him, and Drew dropped him on the ring apron. Ricochet sold the shit out of it. So Drew tossed Ricochet back and forth in the ring again, and they showed Mustafa Ali watching this match. I'm sorry, I said Mustafa Ali was watching the last match with the Mansoor and Cesaro pairing. No, he was actually watching this match, and he said that he and Ricochet share a lot in common. Wink, wink. I don't know what that means. But if we're going to get an Ali and Ricochet match out of it, then that's good by me. Just don't stereotype them and say that the fans are booing them because of the color of their skin or someone's name like Mustafa Ali. So he said Ricochet and he share a lot in common. Ricochet then caught Drew leaping off the top rope with a drop kick. Ricochet landed a standing shooting star press, but Drew rolled through and powered Ricochet up and then landed an inverted DDT. Ricochet rolled up Drew for a near fall. He went for a backflip off the ropes, and Drew knocked him out in midair with a Claymore kick. 1, 2, 3, and that was it. That was a nice sequence. Excellent ending to this match. Short, but excellent ending. Ricochet went for, a moonsault of sorts, and Drew McIntyre leveled him in the face with a Claymore kick in mid-moonsault. Drew looked down at Ricochet after the match was over, told him that if he brings that fire, that is exactly what's going to get him where he wants to be. So that sounded like a fucking shoot. It sounded like a shoot to me. Drew McIntyre is very high on Ricochet and vice versa. I would assume that these guys are very good friends and know each other very well. So I hope whatever Drew McIntyre told Ricochet, he takes it and feels confident in himself. WWE should feel confident in Ricochet as well. I know he's not the best promo, but Ricochet, my God, man, one of the most gifted athletes in this fucking business. This is a guy that I do not want to see walk away because of the lack of detail and lack of care you've given him in the 3+ years he's been in this company. I don't want to see him walk away. This guy should be on the level of an AJ Styles when all is said and done. Ricochet should be a U.S. champion. Ricochet should be a king of the ring. Ricochet should be an intercontinental champion. Ricochet should be that guy where you don't have many people at the top and you want to plug him in at the top to give you a fucking top-tier world title match. Ricochet can do it all. Why is this guy not higher on the card? Why has he been held down for years? What has this man done? What do you want him to do? Why are you cutting this guy's balls off at every twist and turn? This guy was giving you a glimpse of the future in NXT when Triple H was in charge on Wednesday nights. This guy had banger after banger after banger in NXT. This guy was a made man under Paul Levesque. This guy died 1,000 deaths under Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon. For what reason? I don't know. And it sucks that I have to sit here and tell you, when I look at Ricochet, I'm genuinely surprised that this guy still has a fucking job with this company. They should be ashamed of themselves the way they treated Ricochet. This guy deserves better. McIntyre wins in 5 minutes. Very good match. Probably the best thing on the entire show. Caleb Braxton approached Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston backstage for a comment on the main event. Xavier said if Reigns walked to the ring any slower, he'd be walking in reverse. Ha ha ha. Not funny. He said the outcome is not in doubt. He said Uso is certainly stretching nervously so he doesn't pull a muscle later when he has to bend the knee. So they were gyrating and swiveling their hips like the New Day usually do, and once again making a mockery of the King of the Ring crown. Ali approached Ricochet in the locker room and pitched that they team next week. He complimented Ricochet and said they complement each other perfectly. Ricochet turned him down. Ali asked why. Ricochet says he's not a winner, he's a whiner. He said he criticizes others and doesn't look in the mirror. He said he treated Mansoor like dirt, and he's just a jerk. Hey, if we're getting Ali versus Ricochet, man, you don't got to ask me twice. Sign me up. Those guys should be in the main event. I wouldn't say the main event, but those guys should be in the upper mid-card challenging for an intercontinental title. And I hope that's where most of this leads to. Ricochet, Ali, you got Sheamus, Cesaro, Ridge Holland. You got a solid mid-card on this show. There's no reason why Shinsuke Nakamura should be short of opponents on Friday night. Happy Talk. We got Happy Talk with Happy Corbin. Corbin and Mad Cap Moss sat in chairs in the ring. They had a nice little bar with some cold beverages sitting behind them. Corbin said there's no serious competition for them on SmackDown. Moss was very happy with Corbin's play on words. He introduced their guests, the Viking Raiders. Cole called them ferocious. And Eric said they aren't there to be their guests. Ivar said they are there to raid Happy Talk because it's corny and it sucks. Corbin was chill and said they appeared to be in such a sour mood for two guys who are still dressed in their Halloween costumes. Corbin told Moss to tell a joke to make them happy, and he asked how the young woman suffocated from body odor. She took a liking to a Viking. Corbin and Moss thought this was hilarious, while I was not laughing at all. The Raiders then destroyed Happy Talk and Happy Corbin's set, and we got a tag team match which ended in 4 minutes. It's pretty much it. 4 minutes. And Corbin and Moss had enough of whatever the Viking Raiders were dishing out a few minutes in and got intentionally counted out. And the Viking Raiders won by countouts in this absolutely nothing, there's that word again, nothing tag team match on SmackDown. We go from this tag team match to Sami Zayn. He approached Hit Row. He said, sometimes as a leader of the locker room, you have to convey some hard truths, Sami said. He said their ring entrance was flat and it sucked. Sami says they have great potential, but it'll take some time and some work and some finessing. He asked if they understand. Bottom Dollar asked if they could show them how to make a proper entrance. Sami said, sure, I could tell you. And I want you guys to take some notes. So Sami had Hit Row follow behind them, and Hit Row was laughing behind Sami's back. So they make their way to the ring. He made a big production, Sami did, of his entrance, strutting around, dancing to his new theme music. Hit Row walked out, pretended to be, I guess, rapping Sami Zayn to the ring. Sami was buying into what they were selling. He then turned around because Hit Row was kind of dissing him. And they were making raps about how pathetic Sami Zayn is. Top Dollar said, Sami Zayn, no, Sami Zayn sucks. Fans chanted, Sami sucks. Sami was then very angry, and he stormed off telling Hit Row that they would not forget this, or that he won't forget this. Hit Row, once again, showing everybody that within just a matter of weeks, these guys will be Titus's favorite group of individuals backstage in catering. They're going nowhere. Maybe Swerve, but I don't see Hit Row going anywhere at all. B-Fab was released last week, or not last week, on Thursday. B-Fab was released on Thursday, yesterday, and Bryan Alvarez mentioned that she just literally signed a new WWE contract. It's amazing. It's amazing. They absolutely ruined Hit Row and the aura of Hit Row because of their creative indifference to what Triple H was trying to portray with Hit Row. It was such a Triple H project that WWE felt the need to fire B-Fab and change the outlook of the entire group and slightly change the theme music to Hit Row because they wanted to change whatever Triple H was presenting with Hit Row. If you guys don't think that they're internally sabotaging everything Triple H has done with his version of NXT and wiping clean the slate of NXT that Triple H was in charge of, you may be the dumbest fucking idiot on the internet. Nobody's going to willingly admit that. That's exactly what the case is. Hit Row is absolutely a part of that entire situation. They were a Triple H project. Triple H put these four people together. He found a home for Isaiah Swerve Scott. And what was interpreted by me to Hit Row, they thought I was being disrespectful and they thought I was being mean to them. Not giving them the benefit of the doubt because they got called up to SmackDown. It was never about not believing in you guys. It was always about Bruce. It was always about Vince. And always about what I knew they were going to do to you. Everybody joked that you guys would be in catering. That you guys would be buried, split up, made into the next Sanity on SmackDown. And here we are, and the wheels are already in motion for that to be happening as WWE released B-Fab, and she wasn't even in the coffee shop to order a fucking cup of coffee, and she wasn't given an opportunity to even grow. WWE released her for one reason or another. There was a rumor going around that several people of the 18 were released because they refused to get the COVID-19 vaccination. I don't know how true that is, but with the mandates and the laws nowadays, WWE can fire you if you don't have a vaccination, which is fucked up. Dana White came out today and said, I'm not mandating vaccines. You do what the fuck you want to do. You're your own person. I'm not going to tell you to go get something. If you don't want it, don't get it. But WWE, rumored to be firing people because they didn't get a COVID-19 vaccination. It's fucked up. How many other people in the company don't have a COVID-19 vaccination? How many people in upper management don't have a COVID-19 vaccination? How many people on that roster don't have a COVID-19 vaccination? I mean the upper elite people. What if they don't have a COVID-19 vaccination and you fire BFAB, possibly, or Nia Jax, right? For not having a COVID-19 vaccination. It's kind of fucked up. Why would you fire BFAB in general? She brought a great presence to Hit Row. You just sat her down and signed a new contract with her. And then you let her go? Based on what grounds? Just a very bizarre situation. But it was never about Hit Row not being good. I was a big fan of what Triple H presented with Hit Row. I'm not going to be a fan of Hit Row with the way Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon are going to treat Hit Row. And who the fuck is Hit Row to claim me, a 40-year-old podcaster living in his mother's basement, Bottom Dollar says. These are the insults that I got to see on social media. I don't know why you listen to these 40-year-old neckbeards or whatever the fuck he said. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what fucking show you're watching, but two guys that were on that roster when you were still in the Performance Center, Karrion Kross and Keith Lee, both guys, former NXT champions, were let go. And nobody thought that they should be let go. And if you think that those guys with all the fucking talent and the hype and the promise that those guys could have been in WWE, if you think you guys are safe after seeing those guys let go, motherfucker, you're putting on some weird fucking act on social media, man. You right now are trembling in your $1,000 Jordans. Now, but keep talking shit on social media about us podcasters who don't know anything. That's where I get my information. A guy like Keith Lee and a guy like Kross should have been in the main event scene already. Yet, I'm supposed to sit here and believe you're gonna make it on SmackDown. Sure thing, bro. Sure thing. That's my basis for my argument. That's my foundation for my argument. You aren't safe by any means. That's the point I was trying to make. And now the wheels are in motion with your girl gone. When she shouldn't be gone. Hit Row doesn't look the same now as a 3-piece instead of a 4-piece, right? We ordered a 4-piece meal. Now we got 3 and no sauce. Keep talking shit, Top Dollar. Keep talking shit. I'm going to give this another month. I want to see where you guys are. If Swerve isn't in the fucking IC title hunt after Survivor Series, your time's up. Your time's up. Ashanti Adonis and you should be in the tag team title hunt after Survivor Series as well. If not, your time is up. How long before it starts to get old with you guys coming out fucking rapping your way down SmackDown's aisle, huh? If you don't know, now you know. I knew all along. You're the fucking idiot that doesn't know anything yet. I'll be here when the next budget cut comes, and I want to see AJ Francis on the list. What are you going to say then? Fuck out of here. Xavier Woods and Jimmy Uso. Ask me if I care about Jimmy Uso and Xavier Woods. No, I don't. The only thing I will say about this, and this is just the basis of pro wrestling, this is Pro Wrestling 101. WWE, no matter how corny, no matter how cheesy it was, WWE gave this match some purpose. WWE gave this match some, I would say, something on the line in this match. Whether it's a championship or a spot in the Survivor Series or a bending of the knee, something was on the line in this match to give it some sorts of importance. How important it was, I don't know. The bending of the knee was not as important as WWE made it seem as they built this thing up throughout the entire show. The important thing is WWE has now planted the seeds. It's 2 weeks from now, but I'm glad that they've accomplished this at least, because I didn't really think that they were going to do anything for Survivor Series. WWE has planted the seeds now for the Bloodline and the New Day going into the Survivor Series. And that's fine and good by me. This presents a way for Big E to show up on SmackDown next week, being that the Bloodline took care of Kofi and Xavier Woods. And this sets up Roman Reigns and Big E for 2 weeks going into the Survivor Series, Universal Champion versus WWE Champion. Simple. Xavier Woods wins. Of course he does. Tag team champions once again losing on national television in a non-title match. Oh my goodness, man. Ask me what pisses me off more. The Usos losing to the New Day again, or the fucking Usos as tag team champions losing yet another non-title match. I can't stand champions losing on fucking television weekly in WWE. It really irks the living shit out of me. I can't stand it. So Jimmy blocked a super kick, thumbed Xavier in the eyes. Jay helped add leverage to Jimmy's pin. The referee saw it. Xavier rolled up Jimmy and got a 3 count, and Xavier Woods wins in 12 minutes. Afterwards, Xavier watched as Jimmy was about to take a knee, and out from behind, Roman Reigns attacked Xavier. The Usos attacked Kingston. Xavier fought back. The Usos double super kicked Xavier. Reigns Superman punched Kofi, and the Usos hit the back of Kofi's knee with his scepter. Jimmy splashed Kofi's bad knee off the top rope with an Uso splash. Reigns said if Xavier shows up next week, he'll find out what a real king looks like. That's it. That was the way SmackDown went off the air. Let's get into the SmackDown news, man. A couple of news and notes coming out of SmackDown. WWE brought in Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly to work dark matches. John Pollock first reported this news, and Sean Ross Sapp then confirmed that they were scheduled to be at the show. Johnny Gargano's WWE contract is reportedly set to expire on December 3rd, while O'Reilly's is set to expire in December towards the end of the month as well. It's likely that Vince and his clown parade will assess both guys and decide whether to offer them main roster contracts or not, since neither of them really fit into the new NXT 2.0. To be fair, they don't really fit into WWE main roster as well. I don't see why WWE would bring them up to assess if they want to offer them main roster contracts or not. You clearly know what the fuck Johnny Gargano's work rate is, and you know what Kyle O'Reilly is capable of. Why do they need to work a dark match in front of main roster management to be offered WWE contracts? You either want them or you don't. There's a whole fucking takeover catalog. You can go back and watch Johnny Gargano work. The fuck do you need to watch him work a dark match against Kyle O'Reilly? There's a whole takeover worth of catalog that you can watch the Undisputed Era work. The fuck do you need to work Kyle O'Reilly in a dark match for? You either want them or you don't want them. They clearly don't fit NXT 2.0, and they don't fit the main roster either. So what is the fucking point of flying them into fucking Indiana only to see them work when you know that you don't want them or don't have any plan to use them? What a dumb fucking move. It is so sad to see Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly treated like this. Johnny Gargano should have been brought up to the main roster already. Kyle O'Reilly should have been with the Undisputed Era on the main roster 2 fucking years ago. No, but here we are. Adam Cole's in AEW now, going to be an AEW world champion, going to be the best pro wrestler on the fucking face of the earth in a couple of years' time. No, but you got rid of him, though. Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly will gladly accept your contracts. Decline your contracts. Johnny Gargano's not staying. What do you think? He's fucking stupid? You think everybody else is just a fucking idiot? Soon as Kevin Owens walks, after him, I said, Sami Zayn's walking, Ricochet's walking, Johnny Gargano's walking, Kyle O'Reilly's walking. When Samoa Joe is up, he's walking. What do you expect to happen here? If you have a solid plan for Johnny Gargano, then by all means, bring him up to the main roster. Guy should have been brought up to the main roster fucking 4 years ago. I don't believe we're talking about maybe offering him a contract. If you're maybe offering him a contract now at 34, 35 years old, then you aren't going to offer him a fucking contract to do much of anything with on SmackDown or Raw. Bullshit. What a fucking bullshit story. WWE has a very specific reason why they haven't started promoting Survivor Series. Now, it was noted in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter that there has been no promotion yet for Survivor Series, though it's scheduled for 2 weeks from now. It is assumed that the top matches will feature Big E versus Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Damian Priest, and RK Bro versus the Usos. Sounds fantastic. Sounds like 4 great matches. In the original ads for the show, it was mentioned that it would be Raw versus SmackDown branded matches, and it looks like they're staying with the brand rivalry theme this year. Meltzer noted in The Observer that the mentality within the company is that they pushed the Crown Jewel show so hard as they could, and what is most important right now is to put over new feuds and to have new rosters settle on television before eventually pushing the pay-per-view in the final weeks. Big E is currently in a feud with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens on Raw, and Reigns has not mentioned Big E at all on SmackDown. That maybe will change after tonight's beatdown of the New Day. Meltzer added how UFC has shown that the last few days of hype show that you don't need to do much more to drive interest to a pay-per-view, but the difference between UFC and WWE is that UFC is a real sport and it gets real sports coverage on real sports media, and WWE does not. WWE thinks that they're in the same level as UFC. Let me tell you something, Bruce. Let me tell you something, Vince. You're not in the same level as UFC. Nobody gives a shit about WWE. Nobody gives a shit about SmackDown. Nobody gives a shit about Raw. At all. And you're to blame for that. If you actually produced on a weekly basis engaging television that interests people to come back week after week after week after week, then you may get away with it. But the simple fact that you're trying to sell tickets to the Barclays Center and Survivor Series, and you've had absolutely no care in the world to build Survivor Series, I don't want to hear a fucking word out of either of your mouths when that show is not a sellout, even though you'll probably come on Peacock and tell me the show is sold out when we know it's not. Or you got to give away 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for 1 tickets to go see the fucking Survivor Series. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares about the brand split. Nobody's going to buy Survivor Series. Nobody gives a shit about the fucking rosters. Nobody is going to go to Survivor Series. Nobody cares about Raw versus SmackDown or champion versus champion. There's been no inner turmoil all year long between Raw and SmackDown, and now you expect me to fucking care with 2 weeks of build about, oh my God, I'm Team Raw. Oh my God, I'm Team SmackDown. Oh my God, brand loyalty, brand supremacy. No, please, please, spare me the fucking bullshit. When Survivor Series doesn't sell out and Survivor Series isn't trending on social media and there's no interest in Survivor Series, I want to see you tell everybody how it's our fault and not yours. WWE and UFC are not the same. Nobody covers WWE. Everybody covers UFC. UFC's on SportsCenter. UFC's on Fox Sports. UFC is over there on regular broadcast television on the nightly news if there's a big enough fight. Nobody's talking about Raw versus SmackDown in New York City at the Survivor Series. You need to build hype for the show. You need every aspect of fucking interest on your weekly television shows to build your pay-per-views. What this means is WWE is saying fuck you to the fans, fuck you to Peacock, because we got your money. You're going to show our pay-per-view on your fucking platform. We're already paid. Goodbye. Fuck off. That's WWE. So please tell me how Survivor Series and all other pay-per-views only need 2 weeks of build. Oh, yeah, they put so much effort into Crown Jewel. Survivor Series can be last week. No, instead of having fun with it and building qualifying matches for the fucking teams at Survivor Series and making it feel somewhat fucking important, no, you don't book anything. What, are you going to draw random fucking names out of a hat on who's going to be on these Raw and SmackDown Survivor Series teams? What, are you going to fucking throw darts in the back? What, are you going to have a fucking pie-eating contest backstage and catering? No, it's our fault, though. Sure thing. And the New Day, being that they were the last thing on the show tonight, getting their asses handed to them by the Bloodline. The New Day have more creative freedom than most in WWE. While speaking on Breakfast Club Power 101.5, don't know where this was. This is actually a real station. Big E stated that Vince McMahon gives the New Day more creative freedom with their promos. Due to this, the New Day was able to get over. Vince McMahon, he says, is still very heavily involved and the one that pulls all the strings. But the reason we were able to take off is because we got some more freedom with our promo. A lot of people are handed their script and you have to say it, but thankfully we have the freedom to play around with what we say. End quote. That doesn't really mean much of anything. Creative freedom, I look at creative freedom as not only promos, but also the way you handle your character and the way that you go about who you are in the ring with and what is the best creative decision, wins and losses. If the New Day has such creative freedom with their promos, I'm pretty sure that's something as well when it comes to what they do and who they lose to and who they win or how many title reigns they have. If they have such creative freedom, why did Xavier Woods win the King of the Ring tournament? It's almost as if WWE put the New Day, 2 members of the New Day in the King of the Ring tournament and said, fuck everybody else, gave the title, or gave the crown rather, to Xavier Woods. And me reading this type of storyline with this headline, New Day has more creative freedom than most, it makes me think, how far does that creative freedom extend? Did Xavier Woods really need to vouch for himself to win King of the Ring when we all know and he knows he doesn't need it? He wants it, but he doesn't need it. He wants it, but he's not the one that's going to benefit most from that. I'm pretty sure that he voices his opinion. He sounds like the type of guy that would voice his opinion if he doesn't like something or if something is wrong and he wants it to be righted. No, but we needed Xavier Woods as King of the Ring, though, right? That creative freedom extends more than just promos. Those guys have been there long enough, and those guys have gone through the trials and tribulations to a point where Vince trusts them with anything. So if you don't think they're coming to Vince with fucking creative ideas or wins and losses and what they want to do and what they don't want to do, you're a fucking fool. I really wish it would have went to somebody else. Because what we're seeing right now with King Xavier or King Woods is definitely not working out. Check the chat. We're going to go over some AEW Rampage in just a bit, guys. We got 2,200 people in the venue. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Continue to get those super chats in. The bar is still open, man. The line is packed, from what I see. Jesse, you need some help over there. No. Bro, I got a line of fucking people over here, man. I got about 4 different fucking people waiting for drinks. What are you doing? You're watching the replay of Punk and Kingston, bro. Come on. How many times you gotta watch it, bro? This fucking shill. What a fucking geek. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this guy, man. This guy's dilly-dallying on the job. Anyway, get those super chats in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. Follow me on Twitter, man, at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And make sure you guys check out today's sponsor, man, Audible, audibletrial.com/scripts. Issa is on vacation, bro. Issa's not even in town. You're the de facto bartender tonight, bro. Start pouring that peanut butter whiskey, man, and don't give me lip. audibletrial.com/script, man. Thank you for all of the support tonight as we now head into the AEW Rampage breakdown. This was a very, very good episode of Rampage, man. Very good episode of Rampage. The difference between a tape show and a live show is amazing. It really is. You saw the energy of that crowd tonight. You saw the difference as far as the television product in the way it was presented. The fact that there were no spoilers, so it made people watch the show. You had to physically watch the show. People tend to say, I'm gonna skip Rampage this week. There's really nothing going on. I'll tune in for this one match, but I'm not gonna watch the whole show. Rampage needs to be live every single week. Every week, it needs to be live. And tonight was definitely the exclamation point on that. We got a opening match with Bryan Danielson and Anthony Bowens of the Acclaimed. And Danielson made his way out first, followed by Mr. Anthony Bowens. And we got a beautiful, I would say, rap by Max Caster as he led Anthony Bowens to the ring. And there was one line in what he said. It was all obviously aimed towards Daniel Bryan. And Caster's rap included the line that the Acclaimed end careers faster than your father-in-law. Everybody on commentary kind of snickered at that line. I snickered at that line. I thought it was great that Tony Khan approved Max Caster to go out there and pretty much throw in everybody's face that John Laurinaitis, Bryan Danielson's father-in-law, is an absolute fucking prick. And he ruins careers. John Laurinaitis, people power. I'm sorry, kid. We're going to have to let you go. It's not your fault. It's just budget cuts. We wish you well on your future endeavors. People power. John Laurinaitis. This is the man that is kind of at the forefront for why the women's division in WWE is shit. And he's the one that's pretty much is asked to do all the dirty work that Vince and Bruce don't want to do. That's John Laurinaitis. So I got a kick out of that line. I really did. But Bryan and Anthony Bowens, kind of an odd match, I would say. Kind of an odd match. A decent one, but an odd one. This is why Rampage exists, man. On no Dynamite show would you see Bryan Danielson versus Anthony Bowens of the Acclaimed. This is the type of platform that Rampage is used for. Everybody looks at the ratings and the Fast Nationals, and they look at all the fucking quarterly breakdowns and the overall viewership and the demos. Who gives a shit about the ratings for Rampage? Rampage is not meant to be a ratings juggernaut. It's a taped wrestling show in 2021 when everyone has access to literally everything about the show. People make such a big deal. Oh my God, AEW's dying. Oh, Rampage is a failure. No, it's not. If more talent is on TV and more talent is given opportunity on TV, how can it be deemed a fucking failure? Where else would Anthony Bowens get a match with Bryan Danielson? Not on Dynamite. Not on Dark. Well, maybe on Dark. But they opted to put them on Rampage, their B show. So, Danielson adjusted Justin Roberts' tie before the match. Apparently, they did a throwback to the Nexus skit with Bryan choking out Justin Roberts on one of the Dark shows. So Bowens actually did fairly well here. He kept up with Bryan, got a near fall with a crucifix roll-up. Bryan floored Bowens with some kicks, backed him into the corner for some chops. Bowens came back with some chops of his own. Bowens responded with some forearms as well. Bowens went for a vertical suplex. Danielson caught him with a knee to break up that spot. He went for a cross arm breaker. Bowens got the ropes. Danielson went for a kick. They're both on the outside now. He went for a kick, but Bowens blocked the kick and dropped Danielson face first on the apron. Max Caster clotheslined Danielson on the floor as the referee was behind everything that was happening here as Bowens had him distracted. Danielson hit Bowens with a series of forearms, flying clothesline. Danielson followed up with some yes kicks for a near fall. Danielson missed a drop kick in the corner, and Bowens caught Danielson with his arrival inverted DDT. And Danielson came back and backdropped Bowens out on the top of Caster on the floor. Danielson then flew off the top ropes, rather, with a crossbody, and he landed on both members of the Acclaimed on the outside. Danielson then with a top rope shotgun drop kick, some big stomps, a label lock, and Anthony Bowens tapped out. Very good match between these two, and it's a great thing to see Bryan in the ring. You know, a lot of people are wondering why Bryan is wrestling so much when he doesn't really have to. And I say, who gives a shit? Honestly, who gives a shit about Bryan Danielson wrestling on AEW television as much as he has been? This is a guy that wants to wrestle. He knows he can physically still wrestle, and he knows that he's not going to be able to keep it up. He's getting his fill in now. So why would we ever complain as a fan base that Bryan is wrestling more than he has to? I think Bryan knows what's best for Bryan. If he knows that he needs to wrestle, he's going to wrestle. Or he knows if he can wrestle, he's going to wrestle. But when Bryan is going to start slowing down, everybody's going to be asking, where's Bryan? Why isn't Bryan used more? Let's just enjoy the time that we have Bryan. Let him want to wrestle guys like Bowens and younger guys on the roster. This was a fine match for what it was. We got to see Bryan. He gets a workout in before his match with Miro. Everything is good. And plus, he's a big name. He's a face of the brand. He's a face of the company. So why not feature guys like this on the show? We got... Let me see what's next here. CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. I was looking forward to this so much, man. I was looking forward to this more than anything else on weekly wrestling television. This was going to be phenomenal. We knew it was going to be phenomenal. And these guys, face-to-face tonight on Rampage, not only produce one of the best Rampage segments in its very young history. But these guys produced a segment that may go down as one of the best AEW segments of all time, and will go down as one of the best face-to-face promos between two professional wrestlers, at least in the last decade. I would even say 15, 20 years, 2 decades. You know, Eddie Kingston, he's a New York guy, so he's got my fan in me, or he's got the fan in me just from that. But the one thing that Eddie Kingston possesses that you can't teach somebody at a performance center, or you can't teach somebody at the Nightmare Factory, Eddie Kingston is just real. And Eddie Kingston is one of those guys that you look at and you wish every aspect of pro wrestling was an Eddie Kingston. I seriously wish people would look at Eddie Kingston and the way he embodies a promo in pro wrestling and what he does with a microphone, cutting a promo in pro wrestling. I wish they would take that and model themselves and learn from that. This segment tonight, if you are a pro wrestler or an aspiring pro wrestler and you want to know how to cut a promo or what it means to cut a great promo, why should I want to cut a great promo? If you guys want to learn what a promo needs to be in pro wrestling, this is the segment that you want to go and watch and study. Eddie Kingston is real. We know how good CM Punk is. CM Punk's been doing this for a very long time, as has Eddie Kingston. But you put these two guys in the ring together, man, what else did you expect? This was absolute fucking gold. Gold. And I want to see the fucking geeks. I want to see the people online. Oh, but JD, WWE hasn't booked Survivor Series, and there's no build for Survivor Series. Eddie Kingston and CM Punk, they don't have any build. There's 1 week till Full Gear, and they're booking this match with 1 week build. How come you're not shitting on this, and you're shitting on WWE for not booking and building Survivor Series? Because WWE doesn't have a CM Punk and an Eddie Kingston. That's why. You could book this match with 1 day build and have this segment air on next week's Rampage, and I would be just as excited, if not more excited, for what these guys would do the following night at Full Gear. I don't give a fuck what show this match is taking place on. I don't give a shit how many weeks or how many days or how many hours or how many minutes these guys have to build a match. It's CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. That's it. Absolute fucking gold. I can't wait for this fucking match at Full Gear. CM Punk is awaiting Eddie Kingston's apology. Kingston's music plays. He doesn't come down the ramp. Punk says, "I'm not surprised." Oh, wait, here he comes. Here comes the Mad King. He finally storms down the aisle with no music. Punk knows it's condescending to ask another man for an apology, but he's enraged Kingston to interrupt him. I want you to come out here and tell me what is on your mind. Kingston sarcastically apologizes to CM Punk, saying that he was homesick and wasn't too worried about pissing Punk off. Kingston then revealed guys like Punk, Samoa Joe, Homicide, and the Amazing Red were his heroes on the indies. Now he sees Punk as a narcissistic bitch. To his surprise, the fans still cheer him on. Punk admits that the guys Kingston listed did watch his work, and they felt that Eddie Kingston fell short. He then proceeds to call Eddie Kingston a bum. Kingston got mad at this. Kingston then got in CM Punk's face and said, "Would a bum Main Event Full Gear 2020. Kingston warns he'll land a big, juicy slap right across Punk's face if Punk doesn't wipe the smirk off his face. Kingston then all of a sudden lays down the challenge to fight him at Full Gear next Saturday. Punk thought their future match would happen not at Full Gear, but at AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation, because he sees that as more of Eddie Kingston's cup of tea. Not a pay-per-view match with CM Punk and Eddie Kingston at Full Gear. I think you deserve not Full Gear, but Dark Elevation or AEW Dark, one of the Dark shows. Punk then agrees to this proposal. Kingston then ended it with one final statement. If he wins, he wants Punk to take another 7-year hiatus. There are people in that locker room, I'm going to tell you right now. There are people in that locker room that are afraid to speak up, that are afraid to come forward. They don't like you and they don't want you here. Pretty much kind of insinuating that Punk is here and the locker room doesn't want Punk there because they think after him being away for 7 years, he's stealing the spotlight away from everybody else in the locker room. And he's stealing spots away from the younger talent in the locker room. They don't want you here. Nobody wants you here, but I am not afraid to tell you exactly what they are thinking. They start throwing punches. He wants Punk to take another 7-year hiatus. Punk throws the first punch, and everyone runs out to break up this melee. Pull-apart brawl saw these two guys broken up on Rampage, and the match was made right then and there by Tony Khan, as Excalibur stated that CM Punk will go one-on-one with Eddie Kingston at Full Gear next Saturday. This was absolutely fucking phenomenal. Absolutely incredible. Both of these guys. 2 weeks. A week. This thing has been going on for 2 weeks. It all started with an interruption on CM Punk's promo with Tony Schiavone. And then we get to today, and we get a face-to-face that absolutely stopped time. Everybody put their phones down and watched these two men speak. Punk, real. Kingston, real. You can't teach real. It comes from here. This is why Eddie Kingston is a fucking absolute savage. This is why everybody loves Eddie Kingston. This is why everybody loves CM Punk. This is going to be such a great match. If Bryan and Kingston had the match that they had last week, Punk and Eddie Kingston are going to do the same exact thing. But with probably more intensity because of the words that were thrown here at each other. You see, the thing with AEW is, and a lot of this kind of revolves right back to Tony Khan. Tony Khan trusts guys like Eddie Kingston and CM Punk to go out there and deliver. Tony Khan trusts guys like Eddie Kingston and CM Punk to go out there and be themselves. You hear stories from a lot of different men and women on that roster that the work environment in AEW is very different than what they remember it being or what they see in WWE. Bryan came in to AEW, and on night one on Dynamite, he asked, what are we doing tonight? Do we have some sort of script? And he even stated in an interview that he was shocked when he got to AEW and he realized how lax and relaxed it was. And the fact that there was no script. They gave me bullet points and then they sent me out to the ring to cut a fucking promo based on bullet points, and I have to get over my own words in front of a live audience. Meanwhile, in WWE, I'm having scripts handed to me and rewritten 10 times over by fucking 7 different producers. Then it gets to Bruce, then it gets to Vince. And I don't know what the fuck I'm even talking about anymore. This all revolves right back to Tony Khan. This is what makes AEW stand out. I don't know how you are a pro wrestling fan and watch this segment and you don't appreciate what you were given here. I really don't. This is the difference between WWE and AEW. This is why WWE is behind the times. This is why WWE is behind a lot in the world of pro wrestling. They want to micromanage. They want to control everything. You are a fucking puppet to them. Meanwhile, Tony Khan is sending out guys like John Silver and Adam Cole and the Dark Order and everybody else, a Darby Allin, an MJF, a fucking Jungle Boy, with no scripts and bullet points, and they go out there and Tony Khan trusts them enough with the charisma that they possess and the talent that they possess to get themselves over. WWE should absolutely be taking a page out of Tony Khan's playbook and how he handles promos in AEW. WWE should be doing the same thing. I'm not saying that it needs to be a situation that everybody is unscripted and everybody's given bullet points. But if you guys want your programming to be forced and manufactured, then by all means, watch somebody write a fucking promo 7 times over for a gimmick and a character that they have no fucking clue about. Imagine writing a promo for Bray Wyatt. Are you going to script somebody like Bray Wyatt? How many times have you heard a promo on WWE television and it sounded so fucking organic? Just take Shotzi Blackheart tonight, for example. She sounded like a fucking robot. Listen to Charlotte Flair every time she's in the ring. She sounds like an android. We don't say these things for a reason. Look at Roman Reigns. Does Roman Reigns sound scripted to you? Roman Reigns doesn't sound scripted at all. Look at what he says and how he delivers his promos compared to a fucking Viking Raiders or a Drew McIntyre. I don't even think Drew McIntyre has that type of leverage in WWE. Look at what he was doing with his historic promos. Sounds like fucking Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. WWE should absolutely be taking a page out of AEW's book. It would make their show immensely better. So much better. So credit to Tony Khan. Credit to Tony Khan for trusting his talent and trusting guys like Eddie Kingston and CM Punk to go out there and fucking sell. They absolutely hit a grand slam plus some tonight. Red Velvet defeated the Bunny in 3 minutes in this TBS title tournament match. This was the last tournament match of the first round. Velvet with a leg lariat and a stunner for a near fall. Bunny got a near fall after a Death Valley driver. Bunny went for the down the rabbit hole, but Velvet countered into the final slice neck breaker for the 1-2-3. She now takes on Jade Cargill in the next round of the tournament. So we have Sheeta versus Rose. We have Ruby Soho. I'm sorry. Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander. Jade Cargill and Red Velvet. And Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter. I think we get Thunder Rosa in the next round. I think we get Jade Cargill beating Red Velvet in the next round. The semifinals will be Rosa and Cargill. I think we get Ruby Soho beating Chris Statlander. And I think we get Sheeta beating Nyla Rose. Those are the top 4 women I want to see in the semifinals. Then we get Rosa and Soho in the finals, and that is going to be an absolute fucking barn burner. That's the way I see the tournament happening. Who do I give the TBS title to? I'm giving it to Ruby Soho. Thunder Rosa right now, to me, is bulletproof. I think Thunder Rosa has bigger aspirations. I think Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker is where you want to go. I think Ruby Soho is the perfect woman to hold that TBS championship. I think we give it to her, and she beats Thunder Rosa, solidifying not only her beating somebody like Thunder Rosa, but also solidifying that first day reign as TBS champion by beating somebody like Rosa. It sets off a level of legitimacy that I don't think you could really capture with somebody else. So I do think we're getting Ruby Soho versus Thunder Rosa, and Ruby Soho is going to win the TBS title. Next week on Dynamite, we're getting Pac versus Dax Harwood. Should be an excellent match. Dax and Jungle Boy, remember, several months ago had a great match on Dynamite. This is Pac. So I think these guys are going to have a great match. Thunder Rosa, Tay Conti, and Anna Jay versus Britt Baker, Rebel, and Jamie Hayter. Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty versus Dante Martin and Leo Rush. Bryan Danielson versus Rocky Romero. It's quite the interesting matchup there. Mr. New Japan Pro Wrestling himself, Rocky Romero, he will be in New York City on Friday because he's wrestling Cash Flow Ken Broadway at the House of Glory show, which you guys can find on Fight TV. You guys can watch the great roster that House of Glory has, the young and up-and-coming talent from House of Glory. You guys can listen to me and Jason Solomon, the Solomonster, do commentary on Fight TV. Make sure you guys go and order that. And we got a contract signing for Full Gear between Adam Page and Kenny Omega, which should be excellent. Also added to Full Gear, Jurassic Express and Christian Cage versus the Super Click, Young Bucks and Adam Cole, in a Falls Count Anywhere match. That sounds like a lot of fun. Main event was Adam Cole with the Young Bucks versus John Silver. This was a great match between two guys. Newsflash, guys. Adam Cole and John Silver are two fantastic professional wrestlers. Unbelievable these guys are. I love both guys. The funny thing is, I look at somebody like Adam Cole and I'm like, still to this day, I don't know how you let this guy walk out of WWE, but I'm glad the man's happy. The guy's going to be at the top of his fucking league in a couple years' time. As soon as this elite storyline is over and Adam Cole eventually branches out on his own, this guy's going to be a fucking superstar. Next Shawn Michaels, world champion. Adam Cole, baby, is going to be doing his thing. No question. John Silver, I look at somebody like John Silver and I say to myself, can you ever envision, and this is another reason why we love TK. This is another reason why we all appreciate Tony Khan. Tony Khan has taken John Silver from an indie promotion. And I've called matches for John Silver before. I called a match for John Silver and Matt Travis, God rest his soul, in House of Glory. And I went up to Matty after that show and I asked him, what'd you think of that match? He's like, I can't wait to do that again. And I'm like, I want to see you two guys in the ring again. That was fucking great. Intensity was there. John Silver wrestles with a level of legitimacy and intensity that you don't really find a lot on an active roster. He just is a great professional wrestler. I look at somebody like John Silver and I say to myself, he would never be able to main event a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown. He would never, ever, ever get an opportunity on the main roster in WWE, especially in the main event with somebody like Adam Cole. This guy would be banished to 205 Live for the rest of eternity. And he's in the main event of AEW Rampage with one of the best pro wrestlers on the face of this planet in Adam Cole. He's been in matches with the Elite, matches with the Young Bucks. He was in a match last week against Kenny Omega and the Elite, the AEW World Champion. John Silver, Johnny Hungy. It's a great story. It really is. So, this was a great match. I'm not going to really go over what these two guys did because it was 12, 13 minutes of just pro wrestling. So we go to commercial break. Silver is starting to make a comeback on Adam Cole. Cole went for a Rana. Silver blocked the move with a sit-down powerbomb for a near fall, which looked beautiful. Cole and Silver exchanged forearms. Cole and Silver then exchanged big kicks, one after the other. Silver went for a suplex, but Cole countered into the suplex net breaker, the Ushigoroshi. And Cole charged into a lariat from Silver. Silver hit a release German, which looked brutal. He went for a cover, but Matt Jackson put Adam Cole's foot on the bottom rope. The Dark Order ran out to confront the Young Bucks. This distracted the referee. Cole went for a low blow, but Silver knew it was coming. He blocked it, hit Cole with a low blow of his own. Silver went for a superplex, but Cole fought out of it. Cole went for a Panama Sunrise, but Silver powered Cole back into the corner. He charged, but Cole caught him with a pair of super kicks. He then caught Silver with I think he's calling it the lower the boom, or what is he calling the last shot now? We'll just call it the last shot. That's what I know it as. The big running knee. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole beats John Silver. Great match. And I thought it was awesome. Every time Adam Cole comes out, I just love his theme. Crowd is super into him. Johnny Hungy, even in the beginning of the match, did his his own version of Johnny Hungy. What is he calling him? Budge? It's Budge, baby. And Adam Cole obviously took offense to that. And I love the fact that John Silver was mocking Adam Cole, calling him Budge, and saying that he's offering him a spot in the Dark Order to manage the Dark Order, change his name, cut his hair, right? This is obviously a take on what Bruce Pritchard wanted to do with Adam Cole, with Adam Cole reportedly set for a main roster debut as Keith Lee's manager. Cutting his hair, changing his name. Now you see where that would have went. And that Adam Cole made a better decision going to AEW than he ever did joining WWE. It's an embarrassment. It really is. Jesse says it's just called the boom. There you go. Lower the boom, last shot, whatever. He finished him. John Silver goes down. Adam Cole beats him 1, 2, 3. This Rampage was awesome. 1 hour of Rampage was triple the amount of SmackDown tonight. Awesome stuff. Probably the best Rampage in quite some time. Guys, we are about to go over the Super Chats. You guys can still get them on in, man. It's the last call at the bar. It's last call tonight for the Super Chats. Get them on in. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, man. We got 947 likes on the chat. 1,000 minimum is the goal. So if you guys have not hit that thumbs up, please hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. We are very, very close to 129,000 subscribers, man. Thank you guys very much for trusting me with all of your pro wrestling news, rumors, thoughts, and opinions. audibletrial.com/script. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JDfromNY206 on both Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you guys continue to hit that join button. Become a member of the VIP room here on Off the Script. You guys get access to those custom badges showing off your VIP status and those beautiful custom emojis that you guys see everyone using in the chat. Let's start at the top, man. Michelle Moran with a $2 super chat. Full Gear is going to put Survivor Series to shame. You ain't kidding, Michelle. You ain't kidding. Tony Brown with a $9.99 super chat. JD, I'd love a fresh slice of red velvet. She ain't beating Jade. Eddie and Punk should rule. I can't wait until Keith Lee to be used right in AEW. February 2nd is when the 90 days are up for Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. Everybody else that was released from NXT, December 14th. They'll be able to work anywhere they want after December 14th. Frankie Aquino with a $9.99 super chat. JD, you playing the air drums and guitar on last night's stream was hilarious. Keep up the great work. Are you a fan of Killswitch Engage or In Flames? I am a fan of Killswitch Engage. I am a fan of In Flames, but older In Flames, not this new shit. Even though the last album wasn't that bad, older In Flames is where it's at, for sure. My favorite album being Clayman. That's the type of In Flames that I like. Trey Van Gerrick with a $4.99 super chat. Can't wait for the 90 days for the releases to end. When it does, AEW Revolution is around the corner. I can't wait. Not everybody's going to AEW, man, but we will see what Tony Khan has planned, man. WWE is making it very difficult for Tony Khan in a good way, though. He can't have everybody. He's got to pick and choose. Gargano's going to be free. O'Reilly's going to be free. Kevin Owens is going to be free. Keith Lee will be free. Cross will be free. Man, you can start a whole new fucking promotion with these releases. It's ridiculous. Seems like Tony Khan is going to need a fucking brand split. Daniel Baez with a $10 super chat. Hey, brother, been a long-time listener since the Notepad intro. Oh, I can't play that song. I can't play Evelyn Awake anymore. I gotta take it off my fucking soundboard, man. We got a fucking content ID claim because we play Evelyn Awake. Nothing remains. It's ridiculous. I was playing it for weeks. And now all of a sudden on last night's post show or the live stream for the releases, they want to content ID claim me on YouTube. Sure thing, guys. Who's listening to fucking Evelyn Awake outside of Off the Script? Nobody. Hey, brother, been a long-time listener since the Notepad intro to OTS. Love the growth and how honest you are, especially after that embarrassment last night. Thank God for AEW. Thank you, brother. The Notepad intro. I love that intro, man. I loved that design. That was awesome. But there's natural growth and progression. Now we got the venue, and we're going to continue building on the venue. Someone reported me. Who the fuck reported me? Trey Van Gerrick with a $1.99 super chat. Max Caster is greater than mid-row. Mid-row, shit-row, death row. Yes, I agree. You know it with a $5 super chat. Eddie, King Eddie, should now be known as the real king because his promo tonight looked and felt so real to me. Was amazing work by Eddie. Long live the king. Eddie's fucking great, man. Eddie is fucking awesome. Hoyt Reynaldo with a $4.99 super chat. Hey, JD, Rampage was fire. Can't wait for Full Gear. When and how would you introduce trios titles for AEW? Do you like a screwdriver mixed drink? No, I don't. I don't mind one, but it's not something I'm going to go out there and order. How I would introduce the trios titles? A tournament. Of course, I'd have a tournament. Let's save it for the summer. We got a lot of tournaments happening. We got the Owen Hart tournament. We got the TBS title tournament. We got the World Eliminator tournament. How many tournaments can they have? By the way, shout out to the group of people with the OTS Off the Script sign at Rampage tonight, right on the right side of the entrance ramp. Love you guys, man. That was a beautiful sign. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Golden Boy with a $5 super chat. JD, recently Malachi referenced Caesar and Rome in his promo, and Wyndham tweeted today a reference about Rome Caesar today. Think it's a coincidence? No, I don't. They may actually have something to do with each other. We'll see. He's another guy. He'll be here. He'll be here. Gavin Deeth with an Australia $5 super chat. With all the free contractors around, should someone in the industry try to do a kayfabe auction show like they do in horse racing? No. No, I would have no interest in that whatsoever. Jerry Ramey with a $20 super chat. JD, WWE tears down Carrion and Scarlett. Books cross terribly. Scarlett disappears before the relaunch, never to be seen again, and WWE blames them for crossing Scarlett for not getting over. Yes, that's how it works. That's how it works, Jerry. Do you honestly expect Bruce and Vince to take blame for anything? Of course they blame Karrion Kross. They stripped this guy down to nothing, and then they want to blame him for not getting over. Meanwhile, they knew exactly what would get him over, but they didn't want him to get over because if he got over, then it would be 2 thumbs up for Triple H. If Karrion Kross got over, then Triple H would have got patted on the back for a job well done. Triple H is not allowed to have a job well done with Vince and Bruce running the show. So they sabotaged Triple H, they sabotaged Karrion Kross, they sabotaged Keith Lee, because if they got over, then Triple H would get the credit. So they did everything to bury them and mock them and ruin them. Thank you for the 20, Jerry. Philip Newton with a $4.99 super chat. I just ordered the Hog pay-per-view. I can't wait, and I checked out other Hog shows with you on commentary. Chef's kiss. Thank you, brother. Also, he says, I saw a clip, and this is not the Shotzi Blackheart I fell in love with. People power, indeed. People power! Thank you guys for the 1K likes, man. Jedi Punk with a $5 super chat. Only watch Rampage and had zero interest in SmackDown. With your description of it, I guess I didn't miss much. Fuck WWE. Can't wait for Full Gear. I'll be live Saturday night, man. Full Gear. The venue's going to be rocking and rolling. Jesse and I, hopefully Jesse, will be here with me talking about Full Gear. Jedi Punk with a $2 super chat. Do you think Wyndham will debut at Full Gear? I have a good feeling that he might. If he doesn't, I won't be surprised, but I do think that he will be showing up after Full Gear, if not Full Gear. Kairos with a $2 super chat. Was at Rampage. Good show. Nothing like AEW Live. You know it, brother. Kenny Omega Goat with a $31 Australia Mike super chat. In hindsight, it's Omega, or in hindsight, is Omega versus Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 11 the most influential match in wrestling since Foley and Taker? Feel if we didn't get that match at Wrestle Kingdom, we wouldn't have gotten Jericho versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12 or AEW altogether. You know, I would, if somebody came to me and said that it probably is the most influential match in wrestling today because of what followed, I would not argue you. I would not argue that at all. I do think without that match, we don't get Omega versus Jericho. Without that match, I don't think it really resonates with that type of style here in the States. I really do think that those guys created something here and created an interest in the United States based on what they did in the 4 matches that they had. Influential, yes. Most influential, if you told me that, I would not argue. It's going to be a very subjective thing. Jeremy Lewis becomes a member for 3 months, man. Thank you, Jeremy. What are you drinking, bro? How did you like the sign, JD? That was such a great show. Jeremy, that sign was beautiful, bro. Beautiful, man. I appreciate that very, very much. DV Acme with a $5 super chat. Punk already had what was arguably the single best promo ever in the pipe bomb, and now he has one of the best head-to-heads with Eddie ever. Magical. Well, there's a reason why CM Punk is the legit GOAT. Tonight is one of those reasons. Look at this fucking guy, man. We got kid behind a camera over here. $19.99 super chat. Brother, you don't have to do that for me at all, man. I greatly appreciate you, man. We ever cross paths, bro. If we ever cross paths one of these days, man, not sure if you indulge in a cold beverage or 3. The rounds are on me, brother. Thank you so much, man. Sage Blackwolf with a $4.99 super chat. 2K must hate WWE. Imagine having to delete that many people from their roster. Bro, this game ain't ever coming out. This shit is never coming out, bro. Listen, AEW's game is going to be the best wrestling game ever. Mark my words. Mick Swagger becomes a member for 4 months. Thank you, man. What are you drinking? Do you see AEW ever moving to Monday nights? I would love to see that. I hope it doesn't. It would really put a stifle on my schedule. Stay on Wednesdays. Just continue booking better shows, man. WWE knows that they got their backs against the wall. Their shows suck. Just continue booking better shows and mind your own business. Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Captain Solo. New Beginnings with a $19.99 super chat. If you think about the vignettes, former WWE stars cut, pretty much escaping a mental asylum, doesn't it seem like Sami Zayn is embracing that same concept? His look gimmick has reminded me of Ambrose on his way out. Bro, I don't know what they're doing with Sami Zayn, but he's another guy. When his contract's up, he's gone. He's fucking gone, bro. Jedi Punk with a $2 super chat. Who fought Adam Cole better, Jungle Boy or Silver? That's a tough one, man. I'm gonna go Jungle Boy. New Beginnings with a $4.99 super chat. Crazy to think Cole was supposed to be Keith Lee's manager. Had he stayed, would that have saved Keith, or would they have both been fired? They probably both would have been fired, to be perfectly honest with you. Magician Sapphire with a $10 super chat. Rampage was great tonight. When Kingston starts winning consistently, I definitely see a title for him in the future. Bro, he's not beating Punk. And then we're going to get Moxley and Kingston. When Moxley comes back, Moxley and Kingston versus Punk and Bryan Danielson. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be awesome. Carl Peterson with a new membership. Thank you so much, brother. What are you drinking in the venue? Hula Grim with a $5 super chat. 3 months tonight since my mom passed. Thank you, JD, for letting me come in here every week and be a goon. OTS saves lives. Heart you, brother. OTS for life. We love you too, man. Stay strong, bro. Your work in here does not go unnoticed, man. Believe me. You showing up everywhere, on every stream, does not go unnoticed, man. And Ricardo Linnell with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Ricardo. I love seeing the geeks tremble when you are yet again proved right. After months of telling the IWC that Triple H was not in charge, WWE releases are an NXT Gold brand purge. Fuck Vince, Bruce, and John Laurinaitis and Nick Khan, man. Fuck them all, man. Thank you, Ricardo. Guys, I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the 1,000 plus likes. Thank you for the new memberships. And thank you for making me the #1 podcast in the IWC. Brock Lesnar with a $2 super chat. What stories does Brock have tonight? Brock says, Sable loves Viagra, not Blue Chew. I expected better, Brock. I expected better. Kenny Omega Goat, Australia, $7.99 super chat. Thoughts on Dream Theater's new album? I only got halfway through, man. I haven't listened to it all yet. You know, Dream Theater, one song, you hear one song and they all start to sound the same after a little bit, man. They're an excellent band. It's just, you know, it all starts to sound the same. Guys, thank you very much for all of your support. I appreciate you all. Tomorrow I will be in work mode. Off the Script is going to be uploaded at 5 p.m. VIPs get it early. We're going to go over all the releases and all the major news and rumors coming out of that Thursday. It's going to be awesome. Great show as always, bro. DMD needs no glove with me, says slimed you out. $1.99. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, man. Guys, I'm about to get out of here. I got my cold beverage in hand. I'm getting in the Mustang. But I need 2 things from you guys right now. Number 1, I need those guitar emojis. And if you got them, those Mustang emojis. And number 2, I need that music on max. I'll see you guys tomorrow for OTS. And thank you so much for a great night right here from Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.